Hi everyone and welcome to this Deco Magic video. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a Swiss Meringue Buttercream for a semi-naked drippy cake. This drippy cake is using Drippy Magic. I want you to place your butter into the mixing bowl and you're going to need to mix this until it is light, white and fluffy. I know butter doesn't go perfectly white, but you need to mix it as white as possible. Now here you can see that I'm actually scraping the bowl down. You need to do this in between because you'll find that bits of butter will get stuck to the bottom of the bowl and these won't turn white, they'll stay yellow, which will affect the colour of your buttercream. So you need to stop the mixer, scrape down, move the beater around, or even take the beater out if you prefer, and then scrape it down again and then start the mixer. You may need to do this 2 or 3 times during the process so that you get the butter as white and light and fluffy as possible. When using a KitchenAid machine, only use 1/4 of the recipe provided. When you think your butter is ready, take the beater out, scrape it down, and then scrape around the inside of the bowl to make sure that the bottom of the bowl, the butter is completely white, as you don't want any yellow bits. Place your saucepan with your water and sugar onto a medium heat on your stove. You will need a cup of water with a pastry brush so that you are able to scrape down the sides. As the sugar syrup starts to come to the boil, you will see that the sugar crystals with the steam go up the side of the pot and then they crystallize. If any of this sugar goes back into your sugar syrup, it will make your entire sugar syrup crystallize and you will have to throw it out and start again. The sugar syrup took around 10 to 15 minutes to get to softball stage. I think I washed down the sides of the pot about 6 times. It is a continual process. Please do not walk away from your pot and leave it so that you end up with a sticky caramel, because this will be too hard for you to use with your meringue. You need to get this to softball stage only. If you do not have a sugar thermometer, that's not a problem. I will show you how you can test your sugar without using a sugar thermometer. I personally prefer not to use a sugar thermometer and have been testing my sugar syrup for softball stage the same way since I started as an apprentice. Place your egg whites into your mixing bowl and put them on a low speed to start with. Now that the sugar syrup is boiling like this, you need to increase the speed of the mixer with your egg whites. You want them light and fluffy, but you do not want to overmix them at this stage. To check to see if your sugar syrup is at softball stage, you need a glass of cold water and a teaspoon. Pour some of the sugar into the glass of water and start to mix it around. If it is at softball stage, you'll be able to peel it off the spoon, mix it in your finger to a ball consistency. It is the same consistency as a stick jaw toffee if you used to make toffees as a child growing up. Now we need to combine our sugar syrup with our egg white to create our meringue. I slowly add a stream of sugar syrup into the bowl. You can see that I am actually pouring the sugar syrup down the side of the bowl. The reason I'm doing this and not pouring the sugar syrup where the beater is because as the sugar would cool down on the beater, you would get stringy bits. These stringy bits would then go into your Swiss Meringue Buttercream and it would make it exceptionally difficult for you to get a nice smooth buttercream that is nice to palate with. So please make sure that you slowly stream your sugar syrup down the side of your mixing bowl. At this stage, I have the mixer on a 1 or 2 level speed so that the sugar doesn't go flying all over yourself. Please remember that this sugar syrup, even though it is not caramel, it is extremely hot and it will burn you. When making a normal meringue, you do not need to make a hot sugar syrup as you are going to bake that meringue so the egg whites will be cooked. By doing the hot sugar syrup with this Swiss Meringue Buttercream, you are cooking the egg whites at this stage. You are also dissolving the sugar. So by dissolving the sugar, you will get a nice smooth buttercream to work with. You are aerating the egg whites, and you are adding the sugar component into your buttercream so that it is sweet. Mix the meringue until it is completely cold so we can add our butter. Now that the meringue is cold, I'm going to start adding my whipped butter. I normally do this in 3 lots so that it is not all added at once and gets too light and then you end up with lumps. So add a little bit, mix it, scrape it down, add a bit more, mix it, scrape it down, and continue the process until all of the butter is combined with the meringue. Our butter is now combined with our meringue mix, but I want to scrape down right down to the bottom of the bowl to make sure it is definitely combined. So I'm taking the bowl off the mixer, turning it on its side, taking the beater out, scraping it down, then I'm going to put it back on the mixer to give it one final mix. Now that our buttercream is ready, I'm removing the whisk and removing the excess buttercream off the whisk with a gloved hand. I will now use my buttercream to start icing my lemon raspberry mud cake. As you can see, the buttercream is nice and smooth to work with, easy to palate. It is still at room temperature as it has just been made, so it works quite well with a palette knife when you're trying to do a semi-naked buttercream cake. As there is no crumb coat on this cake, I have taken a small amount of my buttercream out of my main batch of buttercream so that I do not add cake crumb to the main buttercream, and this is the buttercream that I am using to ice this cake. I personally prefer to work with Swiss Meringue Buttercream for the simple fact that I find butter and icing sugar or powdered sugar buttercream is still gritty. It is not as smooth as what this buttercream is to work with. I also find that the taste of this buttercream is exceptional. Once you start making Swiss Meringue Buttercream on a regular basis, you will find that it is exceptionally easy to make. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you like the cake that I made with this using Metallic Gold Drippy Magic over the top. Thank you.